You come from above. Like him. He will burn the world to find you. Who? The Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror is the new iconic villain in the MCU.
We knew we wanted to go to places that we'd never been, and pitting Ant-Man against a major villain felt perfect.
Audiences have seen a version of this character in the series Loki.
This is wild.
In our film, he's very different.
Kang is an infinite number of different personas. And you need an actor to be able to pull that off, and that is Jonathan Majors.
He can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. In this film, this is really a side of him we haven't seen. This is his baddest self.
I will take my revenge on those who banished me.
And I will burn them out of time.
I think the film is ultimately about how time plays within our relationship. Love, friendship, legacy. Ant-Man versus Kang. This is it. People are gonna lose their mind.
You're out of your league, Ant-Man.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have a lot of new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania footage to break down. These new scenes are epic, and they mainly highlight Kang. Now, I am going to the world premiere tonight, so be sure to look out for my reaction video, a quick little reaction coming out of the theater watching it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be reacting most to Ant-Man and his entire family. Of course, I'm super excited to see them, but I'm really excited to see Kang the Conqueror, and in this new footage, they do show us a bit of his powers as well. This is the first trailer that I really feel Marvel Studios is really diving into how Kang the Conqueror is the next big bad. He is the villain of this saga. And now in these TV spots and trailers, they are showing more of his powers and showing just how strong he actually is. He's not just an Ant-Man villain, but he's the next villain. And one of the first things that Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and Paul Rudd talks about is something very, very important. The Kang that we are seeing in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is a variant of He Who Remains from Loki. Paul Rudd states that we've seen a version of him before, and something to keep in mind is that it is a different version, so this character is not going to be the same. He Who Remains was very different. He didn't really want to conquer, he simply wanted to keep his variants away from him and the timeline. But Kang is very different in Quantumania. Even the opening scene of this new footage says, "The Conqueror will come for you." Paul Rudd says that he's very different, and then Kevin Feige explains that Kang is an infinite number of different personas, basically telling us that each Kang the Conqueror is not the same. Because keep in mind, during the multiverse saga, during all of these events that are taking place before Secret Wars and during Secret Wars, we're going to see multiple versions of Kang. But what's really cool about that is Michelle Pfeiffer says that this is a side of Kang that we've never seen. This is his baddest self. So although we'll be seeing other Kangs in the MCU, this one in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is most likely the big bad. The one that will conquer the other Kangs in the Avengers and the multiverse. And that's where Secret Wars comes in. That's where the Avengers team up with all of the other teams across the multiverse to defeat this one Kang. Now, there are a few new scenes that we really need to talk about. One is we have a scene where Kang says that people banished him. He says, "I will take my revenge on those who banished me, and I will burn them out of time." Now, one, this scene is just awesome because it looks like Jonathan Majors is really nailing the part just by what we've seen in the trailer so far. But two, it kind of shows us the true power of Kang the Conqueror, because in Avengers Endgame, we learned that you just can't simply go back in time, change something, and then the future changes. According to the science in Avengers Endgame, that is not how it works. It simply creates a branched timeline, an alternate timeline. That is why the Avengers couldn't go back in time and simply kill Thanos. That wouldn't erase him from existence, it would start a new timeline. But Kang here is saying that he will literally take people out of existence. So it takes much more than just going back in time to actually do that, but Kang has the power. We hear him say it here, and we've heard in the other trailers and TV spots Janet Van Dyne say that he can erase entire timelines from existence. So Kang truly has power over time. He is the conqueror of time. Now, there is another scene that's new that is very interesting. It's of Ant-Man and his daughter Cassie in prison cells that Kang is holding them in. However, Cassie, as we can see, is already in her suit. Now, the reason that this is interesting, and keep in mind Marvel Studios can be a little deceptive with their trailers, of course they've done that in the past, but based off of what the other trailers have kind of showed us, this could actually be a different Kang we are seeing in this shot right here. Because this seems like they could have already talked to Kang, or at least a variant of Kang, the one that is saying, you'll do what I want, or I'll kill your family. And what we believe is going to happen is that Ant-Man might have to steal from a different Kang, so this could be that other Kang. This could be Scott Lang and his daughter Cassie trying to take something from Kang but actually getting caught. Or this simply could be when they get caught for the first time, but it is very interesting that Cassie already has her suit on because we don't see it on her really in any other TV spots. They're trying to save that for a pretty big reveal in the movie. Now, another thing that's showcased in this new footage is some of Kang's powers. We have a scene here where Kang moves his arm and Ant-Man flies up against the wall, showing us that Kang seemingly has the power of telekinesis. However, if you take a look at his arm, he is seemingly wearing some type of a gauntlet, and it glows blue when he moves Scott Lang. This is important because Kang the Conqueror, or I should say his original name, Nathaniel Richards, doesn't actually have any powers himself. He's not a mutant born with superpowers. He doesn't have powers himself, but he does have technology. If you've been following our videos, we've talked about this a lot, but since Kang is the time traveler, the master of time, he can go forward into the future, centuries into the future, and get highly advanced weaponry. In fact, Kang, or Nathaniel before he started as Kang, was originally born in the 30th century. So he was already from the future to begin with. So he has technology and weapons from the future that are just way more advanced than anything our Avengers have seen. So what he's doing here is using future technology to use telekinesis. He also has the power to manipulate and harness energy, and I'm assuming it's going to be quantum energy in this movie since they are in the quantum realm, and it's called Quantumania. And they actually gave us a really cool scene here in this clip of Kang using that energy in a big battle. Now, what we really have to talk about is the banishing part where Kang says he will take those that banished him and get his revenge. There are a few people that he could be talking about, and he could be talking about more than one. And one of them that is most likely is probably Janet Van Dyne. We know that her and Kang have a history. We know that it's a bad history, but it didn't start off as a bad history. So perhaps Janet did something that further trapped Kang inside of the quantum realm, and she could be one of those people he is talking about, and this could also make Kang want to go to our main timeline and kill it. The main MCU Earth 616 timeline where all of our main Avengers are. This is how the Kang dynasty is probably going to come into play and tell us why this specific Kang who was trapped inside of the quantum realm came to our specific universe. So I'm guessing that one of those people he's talking about is Janet Van Dyne. Another person, or I should say people, that he could be talking about is the Council of Kangs. Now, I did a video about the Council of Kangs around 4 days ago, and the Council of Kangs is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a group of Kangs that get together, and they essentially monitor the multiverse to make sure it goes the way they want it to. This includes sometimes helping out other Kangs if their foe, usually the Avengers, are growing too strong. But a big part of what they do is actually judge other Kangs, and they make sure that each member is worthy of the name Kang. And perhaps our Kang the Conqueror that we see here in the trailers in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, perhaps he was judged by the Council and not deemed worthy, or he was deemed as a threat to them. They could have feared that he would conquer them and conquer the entire multiverse itself. So in turn, they could have banished him to the quantum realm, outside of time, outside of space, with maybe at the time no way to get back. And since Kevin Feige has already told us that the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars isn't just about Kang versus the Avengers and the heroes, but it's about Kang versus his variants as well, this could very well be the case. This could be what we find out in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, because I'm assuming we'll get a little bit of backstory about Kang. But in the meantime, before it comes out, let us know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news. For live updates, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.